Hello everyone, today's poem is Wei Mang by Yi Ming, a Wei Wind poem in the Book of Songs. This poem is quite unique in two ways. First thing first, it's a woman complaining poem, the first woman complaining poem in the Chinese history. And secondly, it's a long narrative poem about a normal family, about a normal person. Well, narrative is not a rare species in the world of poetry. A lot of country has their epic narrative poems long time ago. So does the Book of Songs. They have some of the a bunch of narrative poems, epic poems, but it's all about the Lord, the state, the kings, the wars. So that's the mainstream, or that's the epic narrative poems in the long time ago around the globe. So a long narrative poem about a normal person is very rare. As far as I know, this could be the only narrative poems about a normal person roughly 3,000 years ago. Okay, let's have this long narrative poem. The good things for a narrative poem is simple and straightforward. There's not much arguments about this poem. Okay, 芒之蚩蚩，抱布贸丝. Mang is one of the subject in this poem. There's two subjects. This poem is about a couple, a marriage. Mang is the gentleman. In other states, not in the Wei state or not in the Wei city. The girl was in the Wei city, so this poem was categorized in the Wei Wind. The whole poem basically is the recall by the wife to the past life, to his past marriage. The first paragraph basically is the starting, how their marriage started. The 芒之蚩蚩，抱布贸丝. So 芒 means a normal person, an average person, and this guy is away from his own town. So here describe the gentleman, the future husband, came to the Wei city where this poet, this woman, grown up, and he looks very honest, even a little bit naive. So 痴痴 describe the outlook of this gentleman, honest and a little bit naive. 抱布贸丝, so his purpose to come to this city is to make the trade, use his clothes to trade silk clothes. 匪来贸丝，来即我谋. Fei is a long word. It equals as Fei, just know. He come here, actually, this gentleman come here is not for the trading of the silk. 来即我谋 equals, the sequence is a little bit changed due to the rhythm sake. So basically it's 来即谋我. He come here is to make the plan on me. What kind of a plan on this girl? A marriage. We can see it more and more clear in the later sentence. 送子涉淇，至于顿丘。子 is the noble titles for a gentleman. So from here, we know this gentleman is a merchant. Normally, it's not a very, very high social levels. But from here, 送子, he was entitled with the noble titles. So his family is very likely to be a low-level noble family, not with much of the power, not with much of the wealth. So this guy had to do something of the tradings. 送子涉淇，至于顿丘。The girl was seeing the gentleman off. She accompanied this gentleman to cross the Qi River, the most famous river in the Wei Wind. A lot of the Wei Wind poem referred to this river, Qi River. And as far as to the place of Dunqiu, Dunqiu is a place name. You can see that basically it's the boundary of the Wei state. It's a very, very long journey in that time. So here we can see that this girl actually was in a very, very deep love with this gentleman, and when she's seeing him off, he walked with that gentleman a very, very long way until to the boundaries of the Wei state. And this also implies the gentleman is not the people of Wei state, and this also complies the first character, the title, 氓, someone not local. 非我愆期，子无良媒. It's not because I delayed the date. It's because you don't have a good media or middleman. 非 again, the long word as 非 no. 愆 is delay. So here actually double confirmed is about a marriage, and the plan is to take the girl back to the gentleman's hometown and have the weddings completed. And here it point out this gentleman failed his plan because he don't plan well. He don't have a middleman because that doesn't follow the code of conduct of the Zhou dynasty. As here we can see both of them should be the noble persons, because roughly 3,000 years ago a woman can read and write. So what do you think about that, women? And also the gentleman was clearly noted as 子, that's a noble person, even he was doing the trading job. 将子无怒，秋以为期. I wish you gentlemen don't be angry with me, and we have a new date of marriage in this autumn. 将 here should be read as 将, which means I wish. So here shows two things. The girl cares the gentleman very much. She's afraid of that the gentleman was angry on her. And the girl is really in deep love with that gentleman. Secondly, because even the gentleman was careless, not fully prepared for the marriage, and thus the gentleman actually failed this time to make the wedding completed. The girl still forgave this gentleman and wish him to come back. So this actually shows two things. Okay, let's go to the second paragraph. 乘彼垝垣，以望复关。I climbed up to the broken city wall, and I looked to the distance, the gate on the main road. Yuan is wall, city wall. Fu Guan could be a place name, or could just is the general term for the gateways. Normally it's a fortress built on the main road. So that's the place her gentleman will come back and they could get married again. So here actually tell us the girl is in such an anxious to get married, such an anxious to expect the gentleman to come back for the weddings. Okay. 不见复关，泣涕涟涟. So I don't see him showing up at the city gate, at the gateways. I cried stoplessly. 泣涕, qi is cry, is a verb. Ti is the teardrops. So 泣涕 basically is a verb plus a noun, teardrops. So that's the way the classic Chinese looks like. Okay, let's continue. 既见复关，载笑载言. So finally, I saw him show up at the city gate, at the gateways. So finally, this gentleman come back to make the wedding ceremony, to fetch me to get married. 载笑载言. So I laughed and I speak loud. 载 actually means to hold something on the chariot, but in the classic Chinese, basically it means nothing, but it's meaningless words before a verb. So 载笑载言 just means laugh, 笑, yan, the girl laugh and speaks. 尔卜尔筮，体无咎言. So the gentleman foretell the marriage, and the bones is not with of no bad luck. 卜 and 筮 is foretell and divine. 卜 is to use the auricle bone to make the foretell, and 筮 is use a type of grass to make the foretell. So this is the most completed process to make a foretell to divine. So here we can see this time the gentleman is with much of the careness, and he make everything comfortable and good. Also the foretell is good as well. There's no bad luck for this marriage. So finally, the green light turns on. 以尔车来，以我贿迁. So you drive your car to come to my city, to the city of Wei, and then you take me and my money, my wealth, go back to your hometown. So far we still don't know where the cities the gentleman from, but most probably the gentleman is not a Wei state people. And also we can see that the girl is for the love's sake to marry this gentleman. And in the second paragraph, the last sentence, 以我贿迁, you take all my wealth, all my money back to your home. So here it gives a little bit implication, hint that this gentleman might for the sake of money to marry this girl. The term 以 is by, so it's very clearly point out the boy, the gentleman, is for the money's sake. By his own car he came, and buy my wealth, and we make the marriage completed, make the marriage done. The third paragraph, 桑之未落，其叶沃若. The mulberry tree's leaf still not falling down. Its leaves is so fertile and so stuffed with water. The mulberry tree is a very, very important tree in the Chinese history because that's the leaves of the mulberry is the food for the silkworm. So if you went to a village and you saw a lot of the mulberry trees around the village, you would know that village is quite well off. They have a lot of the silkworms, of course, and they have a lot of silk as well. So here it just used the mulberry to parallel something. So when the mulberry trees in the springtime, in the summertime, the leaves are so fertile and so prosperous. 于嗟鸠兮，无食桑葚. 鸠, the turtle dove, the bird of turtle dove. 桑葚, the fruit of the mulberry or the mulberry. So here is the girl signs. The girl signs on the turtle dove. Don't eat too much mulberry, please. So there's something behind the common sense behind. So the common sense for the classic, the Asian Chinese is if the turtle dove eat too much of the mulberry, it will get drunk. Okay, let's continue. 于嗟女兮，无于是丹. Here I signed on the girls, never became so indulged with the gentleman. Dan is indulged with, or in other meaning, drunk with, like the turtle doves. So here is the very typical writing techniques. 比兴, compare and start. 比兴. So that's the very typical writing techniques in the Book of Songs. It paralleled the turtle dove that eat too much of the mulberry and get drunk to the young girls that falling in love and totally get lost. So here it doesn't tell it very clear, but it implied these two things is not good. 士之耽兮，犹可说也. When the gentleman indulged with something, more or less he would get his relief sometime. 女之耽兮，不可说也. When a girl indulged with something, she would never get released. Actually here it's very clearly implied that when a girl indulged or fall in love, she would never get released from that love. So from here, you can feel the regretful feelings of this woman, and she gave her lessons to us that maybe you better don't fall in love with a man, because if you did so, you could never be released from that love. Not like the gentleman, they don't care. So we have finished the first 3 paragraphs. The first 2 paragraphs describe how the girl falls in love with that gentleman and how the wedding has been through, and it's implied the gentleman looks like an honest man, a bit careless because he failed the first marriage with the girl, and maybe he cares a little bit on the money things. Anyhow, the girl is, as always, love him and cares him, and the 3rd paragraph basically is express feelings. There's nothing about the story, there's nothing about narrative, and this is the part like a poem, like the classic poem. It used the comparison to the mulberry trees and compare the turtle dove with the girl falling in love, and through the comparison and through the description on the turtle dove, it expressed the feeling of this girl. She was a little bit, not a little bit, she was regretful, and she said, I should not be so indulged with my love to this gentleman, because the gentleman and this woman, the poet, they never have the same level of feelings or loves toward each other, and the gentleman can change, but the girl could never change. Okay, this is for today. I will continue on the next video to finish this whole poem, the next 3 paragraphs. Bye bye for now.